Did you know that?
Ballparks in the American League. Camden Yards. Mariners opening up this three-city, 9-game road trip tonight. It's the first of 3 against the O's. And Mike, how about a look at tonight's Mariners starting lineup?
The starting lineup is brought to you by Chevron. Leading off, it will be Seth Smith in the American League Player of the Week. Brad Miller, congratulations to Brad. He will hit second as the DH. Cano, Cruz, and Seager in the middle of the lineup. Logan Morrison will hit 6th. Then it's Zunino, Ackley, and Taylor rounding out the 9 for the Mariners. Take a look at Miguel Gonzalez, the right-hander for the Orioles tonight. Pretty good fastball. He will be in the low 90s. Used a split and a slider, but a 2.93 overall, 4-2 record for him. Opponents hitting just 2.06. Again, fastball in the low 90s, a split that he likes to get his strikeouts on. Last outing, more sliders and a few curveballs from time to time for Gonzalez. And our American Family Insurance defensive setup for tonight. Travis Snyder in left field. Adam Jones in center. Diaza out in right. Machado, the third baseman. Hardy and Pierce playing up the middle. Chris Davis, the first baseman. And Caleb Joseph, good catch and throw catcher. He will be behind the plate this evening.
So just about all set to go as Gonzalez finishes up his warm-up tosses. 30 years old, out of Mexico. However, he went to high school in San Fernando, California, just about 25 minutes north of Los Angeles. And it's been interesting if you look at the game-by-games this year on Gonzalez. He's been a little bit of a boom or bust starting pitcher, 1 run or fewer in 4 of his 7 starts. However, in his other 3, he's combined to cough up 12 runs. So we'll see how he fares in this one today against a Mariners lineup that is littered with left-handed hitters to go against the righty. As you can see, Nelson Cruz, as he enjoyed an off day yesterday here in his, what was his old city of employment last season, a one-and-done deal with the Orioles, and we can tell already he is still beloved by many here in the Charm City. So here is Seth Smith to begin things, and we're underway with strike 1. Smith, Miller, and Cano. We heard Lloyd talking today about Austin Jackson and his rehab process. We know that he's been suiting up for the Rainiers lately. And it sounds as though at this point for Austin Jackson, it's less about how his ankle is doing. It's doing very well. It's really more about getting his timing back.
Getting his timing back. When you start to miss that amount of time, you want to make sure that he's healthy first and foremost, but give him an opportunity to have success right away when he's in the lineup. They'll send him out on a rehab. And the Orioles will put the shift on now with Smith hitting.
It was very interesting. The last 4 games, we did not see maybe even 1 shift against Seth Smith. The Red Sox, a team that is pretty shift happy, never put the shift on against him. And even Lloyd said that's the first time that he can remember a team not doing that against Smith this season.
No, I think it is the first time.
Crushed right field. Diaza has to watch this one just get over the scoreboard. What a way for the Mariners to start off the road trip. Seth Smith, a bullet home run to right field, and the Mariners take an early 1-0 lead.
Well, that is certainly one way to beat the shift. Hit it where they can't catch it. Of course, Seth Smith, his 4th home run on the year, and an early lead for the Mariners. Take a look at the swing by Seth on our Alaska Supermo. He gets a fastball. That's a mistake. They're trying to go on the inside corner after getting a couple of strikes on the outside corner. That pitch ended up running back, middle in, and he barreled it up.
Now Brad Miller. Strike one. Now Brad, of course, has done a lot of interviews since being named American League Player of the Week. And one thing that he's talked about is how aggressive he can be on first pitch. And he says that when he's right, when his swing is where he wants it to be, he's ready to go first pitch. And we saw that a lot, especially in his rookie year. But this year, too.
Well, the other thing that we have seen is his ability to hit the off-speed pitches. And I think for Brad, when you see him starting to barrel up the breaking ball and change up maybe even a split from time to time, it means his hands are in a pretty good position. His balance is good.
3 pitches, all strikes. Caught looking. Gonzalez, his first punch out. 1 down.
And that's what you will see from Gonzalez. He has a good fastball, again, in the low 90s, but he's going to try to paint the edges of the plate and then eventually mix in his split and slider. Although his last outing, he threw more sliders than splits. Typically, you have about even ratio there, but he probably had a pretty good slider in his last outing and stayed with that.
So that brings in Cano. And really, you look at the homestand for the Mariners, and we've talked about it, winning 6 of those 9 games, and in many ways doing it without Cano's bat really carrying things. He hit about 220 on the homestand. But this is a ballpark that Robinson has played in plenty during his days in pinstripes, and a career .361 hitter here at Camden Yards.
With 15 home runs in this ballpark.
Only place that he's hit more homers outside of what would be a home ballpark for Robinson in his career is Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay. Buck Showalter, the skipper for the Orioles, always entertaining. His 6th season with the Birds, 17th as a big league skipper. Came up as the manager of the Yankees, spent a long time in their minor league system. Ball him 2 strikes on Cano. A guy that you know a little bit, Mike.
Buck Showalter, he was the third base coach for the New York Yankees when I was a rookie. So yes, I know Buck. Known him for a long time.
Here comes the 1-2 to Cano. 2-2.
And that looked like the split. The things with Gonzalez is he can get to a point to where he'll walk some batters. I think the Mariners could take advantage of that.
Cano goes around, and that's back-to-back strikeouts. So after the leadoff home run, which was the first of the season for the Mariners, came off the bat of Seth Smith. Gonzalez gets Miller looking, gets Cano swinging.
Take a look at it. This is the slider trying to throw it to his back foot as Robbie swings over the top of it. And that's something that we've seen over the last 5 or 6 days with Robbie. A number of pitches out of the zone that he has chased. We hear the ovation for Nelson Cruz.
Awfully warm welcome for the Orioles MVP last season. They put the shift on. And a high pop-up, which gets out of play on the right side. Almost a catch made. But last year, Cruz leading baseball with 40 home runs. He did it in an Orioles uniform, drove in over 100. Both numbers career best for Nelson. A guy who always seems to have a smile. Oh, 0-2 quickly. You can see what he did last season with Baltimore. Leading the big leagues in home runs, and this was a team that last year especially hit a ton of home runs, and Cruz a big reason why. The 0-2 up the middle, and it drops in for a base hit in front of Adam Jones, so a 2-out single keeps this top of the first alive for the Mariners.
If you look at those numbers for Cruz, the thing that I found interesting, this is a great ballpark to hit in. the gaps here, you can certainly reach him in left center 364, out in right center 373. Hit more home runs on the road.
That's the incredible part.
Yeah, you would have think that he would have really done some damage in this ballpark, but more home runs on the road for Nelson.
Now, there's no doubt when Jack Sorinzik made the signing, the 4-year deal to Cruz, that was the stigma that came with him, was that he benefited from playing in this heavy hitters environment. But then, as Jack quickly pointed out, listen, he did more damage away from Camden Yards. And you look at where his spray chart was for home runs as Seager jumps out the first pitch on a line to Diaza. And that'll wrap up the top of the first, but a productive one for the Mariners. Seth Smith, the leadoff home run to right field with 2 strikes against him. And through 1/2 inning, the Mariners have taken the lead thanks to this. Smith's leadoff home run to begin the ball game tonight. That's how we get to a 1-0 score. It's Mike, we take a look at Buck Showalter's starting lineup tonight.
And leading things off to be the third baseman, Manny Machado. Then it's Jimmy Paredes, a career-high 19-game on-base streak for Paredes. Off to a great start at 343. Then it's Adam Jones that will hit third, 336 for Jones, 6 home runs. Chris Davis will hit fourth, the cleanup hitter. Then it's Pierce, Snyder, Hardy, Diaza, and Caleb Joseph doing a fine job behind the plate and hitting 258 with 3 home runs. Taijuan Walker on the year looking for his second win, ERA over 7. 33 strikeouts in the 33 2/3 that Walker has pitched so far this year.
Taijuan working on an extra day's rest, just like Miguel Gonzalez with the off day. His first pitch of the ball game in there for a strike. Manny Machado leading off now this season for the Orioles. Something that he'd hardly ever done before in his career. Of course, Machado has had each of his last 2 seasons shortened because of knee surgery. Same operation to both knees. He's behind quickly 0-2.
Well, Aaron, I think if you look at the Orioles and Machado leading off, Buck Showalter having to do a lot of what Lloyd McClendon has had to do for the Mariners this year. Offensively, they are a pretty similar club, but he needs somebody that can get on base, and Machado, who he'd probably rather see in the middle of his lineup, has had to hit leadoff for him. And sometimes you just have to make do with what you have, and Machado, I think, a pretty good option, though. But eventually you're going to see this young man in his career. He will be in the middle of the order type of hitter.
Phenomenal young talent as the count pushes full. But you look at the Orioles so far this year, 5th in average in the American League, 10th in runs, 4th highest slugging percentage, tied for 4th in homers. Their home runs really spread out throughout the lineup. And that should be a leadoff walk, and Machado, the light bulb goes off. He'll take first base.
Take a look at the American Family defensive setup for the Mariners. Seth Smith, who's homered, he's in left field. Ackley in center. Cruz out and right. Kyle Seager at third. Chris Taylor getting the start at shortstop tonight. Cano and Morrison on the right side of the infield. And Mike Zunino will do the catching.
So here comes Jimmy Paredes. looking to get on base for the 20th straight game. And we've seen Paredes with other organizations, with the Astros, where he's been an infielder, but he has been almost exclusively a DH this year for Buck Showalter. 1-1.
There's a young man that they're trying to find a position for him. But the good news is he can hit, so they'll find somewhere for him on the infield, maybe even the outfield at some point in his career. The DH tonight.
Strike two, ball and 2 strikes to Paredes. Well, he's leading the Orioles, batting .343 on the year. And this is not a cakewalk for any starting pitcher. You look at especially the top half of this lineup for the Orioles. They've all done some damage this season, whether it be in the home run department or the average department, as Walker gets them looking. 92 up and in.
It will be interesting to watch Taijuan as this game progresses. Right now his velocity down 91, 92 miles an hour, but he locates his fastball in the inside corner to get the strikeout. I was really impressed in his last outing. 75% fastballs from Taijuan, and he pitched inside a lot. I think in this ballpark, you mentioned the home runs, Aaron, he's going to have to keep these guys honest. If you let them get extended out over the plate, you can get hurt.
It brings in Adam Jones, who had a scorching hot month of April. He hit 400. Jumps out the first pitch. High towering fly ball. Smith running out of room. Does he have enough? Looks like it, and he brings it back. All Adam Jones could do now is smile. Seth Smith had plenty of time.
We'll take a look at Seth. He gets back. He knows where the wall is. Then it's just a matter of he times his jump right, and he does. I like the fact that he gave himself enough clearance from the wall. So many times outfielders will jump up and they'll hit the wall early, and it'll keep them from maximizing the height that they can get to, and Taijuan loves it.
Three-quarter check swing there by Davis. Strike one. Well, that keeps the Mariners on top, as you can give Seth Smith. Well, he's got a pretty good run differential going so far today. The home run, and then he takes 2 runs off the board for the Orioles. There goes the runner. Machado, throw to second base, and it's not in time. Machado has really been, you can make the case, the only real threat to steal, or one of only a couple this year for the Orioles, a team that just, well, they hardly steal any bases at all. That's their 11th all season, and you can see Machado with 6 of them.
This is a bit strange. It looks as if Mike doesn't really get the handle on the ball. He almost throws a changeup down there. He has a much stronger arm than what we just saw, so I have to believe that he didn't have a good grip on the ball. You see Machado sliding in under the tag.
Meanwhile, a ball and a strike to Davis. Now, Davis last year spent some time on the disabled list, an oblique injury, and there's some thought as now Zunino goes out to have a word with Walker that maybe Davis came off the disabled list a little too early. His power really zapped last season after that tremendous year before that when he hit over 50 home runs. Two outs, Machado at second base. The walk and the steal. Big hack there by Davis.
I'm surprised you're talking about the stolen bases, that the Orioles don't run more. When you look at their numbers, the one that jumped off the page at me, mostly because it's been an issue with the Mariners, they are hitting .291 with runners in scoring position this year. So you'd think they would be a little more aggressive to get the guys there.
Sure.
But they've done an excellent job hitting with runners in scoring position again. .291.
Full count.
See if Taijuan's velocity picks up as this game moves on. He's down right now. He's 91, 92 miles an hour with his fastball.
It's a warm night. A little surprising. Count stays put.
One of his better ones at 93 right there. We're used to seeing him 94 to 97. But we've also seen him have games where his first inning, he's almost feeling his way through it. And then after that, you'll start to see the velocity go up. So hopefully that will be the case tonight.
Kind of Paxton-like in that regard. We've seen him do that sometimes.
17 pitches for Taijuan here in the first.
Trying to finish off Davis. And instead, the second walk of the inning. So a leadoff walk and then a walk with 2 outs.
This is an area that Taijuan would certainly like to improve on. Most pitches per inning, and you can see Taijuan amongst the American League leaders. He's right there at 18.3. So you certainly would hope that as this young man progresses, he'll be more efficient. I think that gets back to his fastball command too, Aaron. I think if he can get these guys swinging a little bit earlier in counts, it would certainly help.
Now facing Steve Pearce. Off the plate for ball 1. Taijuan behind 2-0, facing the. Well, would be some insurance runs for the Orioles. They have the tying run out at second base. The go ahead at first. Machado at second. It's Davis who took ball 4 at first base. .93 that time. We've seen that sweet spot for Taijuan around 94, 95 when he has enough life, but he can really command the fastball.
And that's the key. Where is that medium at? Again, he can throw 97, 98, but typically that will be all over the ballpark. And I think he moves on and gets more comfortable with the strike zone. A couple of quality strikes there, one on the outside corner, now right back on the inside corner. You'll start to see that velocity go up.
Pierce batting beneath 200 this year. Taijuan's 2-2. Ground ball. Taylor can't get there. Machado waved home. He scores, and this game is tied. Two out, 2 strike. RBI single by Pierce.
Well, we're just talking about what Baltimore has done with runners in scoring position, and really Pierce is the one guy in the lineup that has struggled, just a 188 average. And Taijuan makes 2 quality pitches with his fastball. That last one he threw it right down the middle, and he hit it hard into left field.
First pitch up high to Travis Snyder. The pride of Kirkland, Washington. Went to high school in Mill Creek. Henry Jackson High. Spent the last 2.5 years with the Pirates. Now back in the American League. Spent some time before he was with the Buccos with the Blue Jays. One and one.
25 pitches here in the first. A lot of pitches for Taijuan.
Has 2 on and 2 out. Weak ground ball, but foul. You know, the interesting thing, Mike, you look at the walk to Machado, the walk to Davis, the RBI single by Pierce. Walker had 2 strikes against each one. So he's been that close that many times.
Now he'll go back, and I'm sure that Rick Waits will meet him in the dugout, and they're going to have a conversation about that. I think you just, once you get ahead of guys, you have to be more aggressive if you can be. And he certainly has the ability to do that.
Count still 1-2 to Snyder. Rick Waits, Howard Johnson to his left, Mariners hitting coach. A lot of room in right center for Snyder. Actually, some steps off into right. Or to left, make it. Got him chasing after it. Breaking ball there from Taijuan Walker, and a run comes in for the Orioles to tie things up, but Walker strands 2 as Seth Smith. Well, this inning could have been a lot worse. Smith taking one back off the bat of Adam Jones. Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at Safeco.com. Do more. By your local Ford stores. By the Emerald Queen Casino, welcoming Tower of Power June 6th. Tickets at EmeraldQueen.com. And by Alaska Airlines. Enjoy free entertainment on your personal device. Learn more at AlaskaAir.com. Now, an absolutely beautiful night here in Baltimore, Maryland. Game 1 of this 3-game series against the Birds. Here is Logan Morrison to begin things, and he looks at strike 1. As a left-handed hitter with power like Logan Morrison, you have to just be licking your chops when you walk inside the batter's box here, don't you?
You do, and I know that you're thinking that because it's 318 down the right field line, which is one reason. But I think the bigger reason is only 364 out to left center, so you don't feel that you have to do anything here. And if you're Logan, he can hit the ball out to left center field easily in this ballpark. And it should make you a much better all-around hitter because you don't feel that you have to pull the ball.
Interesting. He's behind 0-2, but swinging a hot bat, batting nearly 330 his last 17 games. They put the shift on, and it's still 0-2. Gonzalez gave up the home run to Seth Smith to begin the ball game tonight. First leadoff home run by a Mariners hitter to start a game this season. The second in the career of Smith. One and two. We were talking about the Orioles home run numbers, but the Mariners have really been impressive. They are a home run shy of number 50 now on the season. Only the Astros and the Dodgers have homered more this year than the Mariners. Going after it, strike 3. That's 3 early strikeouts for Gonzalez.
I think that is the pitch that you want to stay away from. This is the split, and he has a good one. I think you'll start to see the Mariners be more aggressive on his fastball early in counts. Fastball's fairly straight, but you don't want to have to deal with the split.
Zunino's first at bat.
And you can see a good look at the split grip from Gonzalez.
Is that picked up easily in the batter's box?
No. His arm, his hand speed is coming through so fast you can't pick it up.
1-1 to Mike. Gonzalez making his 3rd career start against the Mariners. The other 2 both came last season. Gave up 5 earned runs over 11 innings total. Ground ball there to Machado. Routine play for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down. Well, the first post-game fireworks show of the year is set for Friday, May 29th, when the Mariners host the Indians. It'll be a salute to the 1990s with all the pyrotechnic effects synchronized to some of the biggest songs of the decade. So for tickets, all you have to do is go to Mariners.com. Should be a fun night. That comes up after this 9-game road trip. Baltimore, then on to Toronto, then Tampa Bay. Ball 1 to Dustin Ackley, 2 outs, bases empty. That's the first time that Gonzalez has missed with the first pitch. Ackley homered off of Gonzalez last year in one of those 2 starts against the Mariners. 2-1.
We're talking about the split. We showed the grip, Aaron, and if you can pick it up. I can tell you this. Most of the time, pitchers and relievers do it more than starters, but they'll have the split grip as they're holding the ball looking for the signs. The reason why they do that is they don't want to give it away, because so many times they'll fan their glove open wider to try to get that split on the ball. And it's interesting watching Gonzalez because he has not done that, but I guarantee you the guys in the dugout are keeping a close eye to see if he's tipping that pitch before he throws it.
Interesting. A 1-2-3 inning spun by Gonzalez. We're through 1.5. Well, tied at 1. Are in Baltimore. Mariners and the Orioles all tied up 1 apiece as Taijuan Walker takes them out for the second time. Orioles grabbing a run in their half of the first, an RBI single through the left side by Steve Pearce, as Walker had to throw a lot of pitches in that first inning to face 6 batters. And stares at J.J. Hardy to begin the second. Hardy has been a mainstay at shortstop for the Orioles, has won each of the last 3 Gold Gloves in the American League at that position. To his counterpart, Chris Taylor. Out number 1. Now we take a glance now at our Geico This Date in Big League history. And we take a look at a good friend of yours, I know, Mike, Ricky Henderson, making his Mariners debut, pinch running for the bone in the 8th inning. And Ricky, one of the all-time greats.
All-time greats, and you can look at it right there in 2000, 31 stolen bases in 92 games that he played. I'm not sure what his age was at that time, but he was still getting it done on the bases.
First pitch swinging, Diaza dumps it into center field. So 1 out, 1 on for Caleb Joseph. You look at how the Orioles, this is a team that won the American League East last season for the first time since 1997. Only the Angels had more wins than the Orioles, and that was only by 2. Orioles last season 96 and 66, and yet to begin this year, so many mainstays are gone for a variety of reasons, whether it be injury or through free agent signings elsewhere. Of course, Nelson Cruz, maybe the most notable. But it's Caleb Joseph who is filling the void of Matt Wieters, who has been on the disabled list since early last season because of Tommy John surgery. And the Orioles hoping that they heard good news today when Buck Showalter, whom you just saw, announced that Wieters will start his rehab process in the minor leagues in about a week from now. He's been in Sarasota rehabbing Tommy John until this point.
They're also missing Nick Markakis.
It's a big loss.
Big loss. Quality right fielder, strong throwing arm, but more importantly, he was a guy that Buck could just pencil in the lineup on a daily basis. He is no longer here.
And Markakis, who was born in New York but was really raised in Georgia, signing with Atlanta during the offseason. Ball is strike to Joseph. Another big loss for the Orioles is Andrew Miller out of their bullpen, who's now tied for the most saves in baseball, now pitching in pinstripes with the Yankees. Inside. 2 balls and a strike to Joseph, batting ninth. There was a time this season where the Orioles were without their normal starting catcher in Wieters. They were without, of course, the mainstay in right field for such a long time in Markakis. And then they were without J.J. Hardy at shortstop, who missed the first 25 games, being on the disabled list, an injury he suffered to his shoulder in spring training. Golf to left field. Smith doesn't have to move much. Now number 2. 2 outs. Diaz stays put at first base as Walker trying to tiptoe around that 1-out single. And it's back at the top of the order. So Taiwan has seen the starting 9 for the first time. Faces Manny Machado for the second time through. When you talk about young stars in this game, you've got 2 of them right here, Walker and Machado. 22 years apiece. Ackley in center field, tracking it well, and that'll do it for the Orioles in their half of the second. Diaz is stranded at first base after that single to center. We are through 2, all tied at 1. Now, beautiful night here in Baltimore as we start the top of the third. Here is Chris Taylor. Taylor batting ninth, trying to break out of a little bit of an 0 for 10 skid.
This may be the right guy. He's 4 for 5 off of Gonzalez. Chris likes to hit the fastball. You're going to see quite a few fastballs from Gonzalez.
And of course, Taylor making his debut in the big leagues last year with the Mariners, and during the winter time when he reflected a little bit on his first season in the majors, it was the man that is at shortstop tonight for the Orioles, J.J. Hardy, who was the guy that Taylor said he really enjoyed watching the most. Because remember, there was a period of time there where he and Miller were really splitting time at shortstop down the final stretch. So there were some occasions where he could be a spectator, a little bit of a scout from the dugout. And as we were talking about Hardy, a good guy to watch. He's got a lot of hardware on the mantle. You can see him there at shortstop tonight for the O's. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Taylor. Now really held back. We haven't seen the curveball a lot tonight, have we, Mike?
No, and I'm not sure that he's going to throw the curveball a lot. Again, he has a good fastball in the low 90s. He likes his split for a strikeout. But he'll throw more sliders. And his curveball over the years, he's used it less and less. And even in his last outing, he only threw it 9% of the time, so not many.
Finds it a way to keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Or the same for Taylor, keeps things going.
I thought it was interesting. I was talking to Jim Palmer, who does TV here, the color TV guy here, and he's terrific. Obviously, a Hall of Famer, does a lot of things. I was talking to him. I was saying that Paxton threw 88 fastballs out of the 105 pitches that he'd thrown in his last outing, which is unheard of, especially in today's game. And Palmer was telling me, he said that he had a game, I believe he said it was against Cleveland. He threw 105 pitches. And he threw 108 pitches. He threw 103 fastballs.
Really?
Yeah. 108 pitches, 103 fastballs.
Nice slicer. Diaza.
And I asked him, I said, well, was it just that day you decided you were going to throw a bunch of fastballs? He said, no, they couldn't hit it, so I wasn't going to change until they made me change. And he goes, I didn't need to. I just kept throwing fastballs. He goes, I had great command of it that day and a lot of ground ball outs. And it was something that when James was pitching the other day, I was talking about. It's difficult, I think, as a pitcher, especially in today's age when you have all these scouting reports and trends and what's happening, to trust that your stuff is good enough. But he went through the lineup 3 times the other day and just kept pumping his fastball in there, and it was good enough. And you hope that you learn something from that, and I think that he has. He's been over 80% in the last 2 outings with his fastball, and I think that's where they're trying to get Taiwan to. Same place. Taiwan 75% fastballs in his previous outing. But it was interesting. You know, it was a little bit later in his career, a veteran guy, a Hall of Famer, and he was saying that they have to adjust to me. And until they do that, I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. And that particular day was his fastball. And he had a good fastball, too.
Lengthy at bat here. Pitch number 11 to Taylor coming up. And Taylor wins that battle. A leadoff walk. That's a fine at bat by Chris Taylor. Seth Smith got things going tonight for the Mariners.
Leading the game off for Seth, his 4th home run of the year. Puts it over the scoreboard in right field. Wasn't sure it was going to be high enough when he hit it, but it clears the railing out there. Good at bat for Chris Taylor getting the walk. 1, make Gonzalez throw the 11 pitches he had to throw. 2, you get your leadoff hitter on. But more importantly, I think also it opens up the right side for Seth Smith. We were talking about the shift his first time up and what was going on. And you can see now they're not able to do that. They want to keep everybody where they're at for the double play. But they swing around for that shift because Seth hits the ball to right field a lot. And this opens up the hole for him with Chris Taylor getting that walk. A couple of fastballs, perfect fastballs right on the outside corner.
Now, Gonzalez not an overpowering pitcher by any stretch of the imagination. 90, 92 or so. We have seen him dot the corners at times early on tonight. And now with 2 strikes, they are in the shift. Strike 3 is called. Smith caught looking. There's the fastball. 4 strikeouts for Gonzalez.
I'm not sure if it was a conversation that you and I were having as we take a look at the location of this last fastball in our Alaska Supermo right on the outside corner. But as far as shifts go, Aaron, I think it was you and I that were talking about it, and teams doing it more and more, but more importantly, you have to have the ability to move your infielders around so that they can make plays. Pretty easy for the Orioles. Machado actually should be a shortstop, an everyday shortstop playing third.
That's a great point, because that's exactly how he came up through the minors. He was taken third overall in the draft by the Orioles not that long ago, and he was exclusively a shortstop in the minor leagues. It was just a matter of days before the Orioles were going to call him up, and they just said, let's start working you out a little bit at third base. Of course, Machado maybe didn't see the bigger picture as to what was coming. Barely had any games at third base in the minors and has played almost exclusively there in the majors.
He's a good one. In this series, he will make a play sometime over the next 3 days. It'll make you say, wow. Great throwing arm. One of the better throwing arms you're going to see in tremendous range.
1-0 to Miller. This gets a piece, 1-1. Well, it was in 2013, Machado's real breakout year when he led the American League in doubles. Only Matt Carpenter had more in baseball of the Cardinals, but that was the year Machado won the Platinum Glove, not the Gold Glove, but the Platinum Glove, which is an award that was fairly recently started back in 2011 for the best overall defender in each league. Adrian Beltre has won it twice in the American League. Alex Gordon won it last year, left fielder for the Royals. Miller holds back on a pitch a bit high and outside as well. The 2-1. Opposite way with some carries. Snyder has just enough room. Off the bat, that looked like maybe nothing more than a routine pop-up, but that got out a little bit.
364 in the gap here, and that's what we were talking about earlier with Morrison hitting. As a left-handed hitter, you don't have to pull the ball, or even though it's only 318 down the right field line, that gap in left center is pretty inviting.
We can tell.
Yeah.
So 2 outs. Taylor, the leadoff walk after that lengthy at bat. Remains at first base for Cano. Struck out looking his last time up. Jumps on the first pitch, and it's right over Hardy's glove. Taylor to second. Loop single there for Cano. And the top of the third continues for the Mariners. Well, things setting up nicely here for Cruz. 2 outs and 2 on.
Yeah, that's a fastball. Jams him a little bit. Pitch middle in. They want to go to the outside corner. Cano doing a good job staying inside that pitch to hit it into left field. Nelson Cruz with a base hit his first time up.
Nelson singled up the middle. They put the shift on for Cruz. 3 on the left side there. Pierce swung over the second baseman. Waits back on it, hammers it left center field, and a 3-run homer. (4-1) Mariners as Nelson Cruz stings his old team here at Camden Yards.
This is just great hitting. He gets a curveball, and you can see a little bit of a hesitation. He stops his hands from moving forward. So many times hitters, their hands will drift forward, and it won't give them an opportunity to drive the ball. Cruz able to keep his hand back, hit this curveball out into the Orioles bullpen. His 16th home run on the year, now 33 RBIs.
That's the 50th home run this season by the Mariners. 3rd most in baseball.
Always so interesting to me when you see a hitter who's in good position to hit, and it's a hanging curveball or a bad changeup, Aaron, their eyes just light up. And you can see that on Cruz.
You can see only the Astros have more in the American League. Dodgers the second most in all of the game. Seager behind 0-2. You just kind of had a feeling that Nelson might have a nice series here in Baltimore. He's off to a pretty nice start so far.
I wonder if the fans will keep clapping for him now.
Those crews might turn into boos at some point. But he got one heck of an ovation. Seager down on strikes. That ends the top of the third, but so far 2 swings, and the Mariners have netted 4 runs off of it. Smith the solo shot of the first, and Cruz the 3-run blast here at the top of the third, and the Mariners have the early lead. Home run number 16 for Nelson Cruz came with 2 on and 2 out to left center field. The Mariners now lead the Orioles 4-1 here in game 1. Jimmy Paredes leading things off for the Birds, and he looks at ball 1 from Taijuan Walker. Paredes a strikeout looking on a fastball back in the first. Stings it to center field. Ackley moving back, and he's just able to snare it. Out number 1. Adam Jones 0 for 1, but barely as we take a look at our Big Fish Casino big catch. And what a catch this turned out to be, Mike, for Seth Smith. Played it perfectly.
Well, after he homers, he goes out and has to make a play in the bottom of the first inning. Times his jump perfectly to take a 2-run home run away from Jones. And Taijuan, of course, likes it. A well-timed jump for Seth Smith.
That's something that Dustin Ackley really talked about when he made the transition from the infield to the outfield, whether it's in center where he is tonight or left field where we've seen him most of the year, is that Scott Van Slyke has really worked with him, or Andy Van Slyke rather, on how to play the wall, how to feel for the wall and not get so close to it that when you jump you actually scrape the wall and it impedes you from leaving your feet.
Right, and that's something that it's hard to do because so many times you get back and you'll see the guys don't even put their hand out to create space from the wall. But then as they drop that hand and the ball is still carrying, they'll drift back into it on their jump. They'll almost like they're jumping towards the stands, and they'll catch the shirt or their shoulder on that wall, and it'll keep them from getting up as high as they normally would be able to.
Now Taijuan Walker gets Jones on 3 pitches. Nice to see that from Walker, his 3rd punch out. So 2 up, 2 down. Walker looking for a quick and tidy bottom of the third. He faces Chris Davis.
Yeah, with 2 outs, Mariners will put the shift on. So Kyle Seager out towards the shortstop position. Chris Taylor swung around to the right side of the infield. And Cano well out onto the grass and right. You can see Morrison close to the line. Really expecting Davis to pull the ball.
Taiwan behind 2-0. Fastball, we saw that one at 92. Still more of what we saw in the first inning velocity wise.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear Taiwan. I think it was his first start of the year, and they were telling him, yeah, your velocity 91, 92, and he was surprised to hear that. He thought he was throwing harder. I wonder what he'll say after the game today.
And that was an interesting situation. It was on a cool night in Oakland,
right,
in his season debut, and he said he never even broke a sweat up on the mound that night. And he loses Davis, who walked for the second time. Well, join us on Tuesday, June 2nd, when the Mariners host the Yankees on Kyle Seager Bobblehead Night, courtesy of Root Sports. The collectible bobblehead commemorates Kyle's Gold Glove Award. It's free to the first 20,000 fans. For tickets, just head to Mariners.com. Two-out walk extends the inning for the Orioles. Here comes Steve Pearce. Little dribbler. Taiwan doesn't have to do much. That'll do it for the Orioles in their half of the third inning. We go to the fourth on a beautiful night here from Camden Yards. Mariners have the lead by 3. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Audi, Truth in Engineering. By BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. And by Honda. Get a dream deal on your favorite Honda now at your Honda dealer. Now, where's Kevin Kremen when you need him? Boog's Barbecue. And Mike, you speak highly of Boog's.
It's good. It's really good.
Tough to argue that by what we see.
You and I might have to go out there tomorrow.
That's probably going to happen. You know, they have one of the best sandwiches in baseball at this ballpark. They have the soft shell crab fried sandwich here at Camden Yards, which might give Boogs a run for his money. We will have to do a comparison tomorrow. Here's Logan Morrison beginning the fourth. Lomo struck out on a splitter to begin the second. His previous at bat. High pop up just out of the infield. Hardy's play. Out number 1. 1 up, 1 down. And as we take a look at our starters tomorrow, brought to you by CenturyLink, and we'll have a chance, Mike, to see Roenis Elias.
He has really pitched well, taking over for Iwakuma when he went on the disabled list, and The thing that's been impressive about Elias is you can look at all of his starts. He's given his club an opportunity to win. Good fastball, his curveball, and changeup. But he has really pitched well.
He posed by Wei-Yin Chen. Chen always so interesting from the standpoint of fly ball pitcher who somehow finds success in this ballpark.
That is surprising.
We'll have a chance to talk about that tomorrow. 0-1 to Zunino. Incredible thing about Elias, his handful of starts that he had with the Rainiers earlier this year, really poor command, was missing up in the strike zone, got burned as a result, and then he comes to the major leagues, a place where he really had a lot of success last season. The lights are a little brighter, and apparently so is Elias.
I think that it was really difficult for him to make it through about halfway through spring training and looking around and figuring he was not going to be on this club. So I think I would give him a little bit of a pass. I think emotionally he just probably wasn't there at the start of the year in AAA, because I'm sure he expected to be on this team with the job that he did last year, and who wouldn't think such a thing? And I think it was just really tough on him as Zunino hits his ball out to Adam Jones in center. So I wasn't surprised to see him get here and pitch well.
It's almost, you can almost make the connection of a veteran who's been around in the big leagues for say 10 years and they just don't play particularly well in spring training because it just, they're not fighting for a job per se. It's the lights aren't bright in spring training. Then they get to April 6th, their opening day, and all of a sudden it's the same guy.
It's all there. Yeah, I think it was just really hard on him. And the good news is he was able to figure it out right away when he came here, because the thing that I've also seen in the past is you go down there and you understand those emotions that he was having, but if it doesn't go particularly well at the start, when you get up here, you're typically not around for too long. So good for him, and good for the ball club. He really saved the bullpen when they were stressed out.
And he's fun to watch, and he's been off to a nice start this year. We'll see him tomorrow night in the middle game.
He competes, doesn't he?
Oh, there's no question. Of course, the final game of this series will be breakfast with the Mariners for everybody back home. We'll have a 9:35 a.m. first pitch in the finale. Taylor on deck. Ackley ahead of the count, and a 4-pitch walk. So that comes with 2 outs. We've seen Gonzalez with some pretty good command tonight, but loses Ackley on 4 pitches.
So far, Gonzalez with 3 walks in the game. One of those have scored. Excuse me, 2 walks. One of them scored. That was the walk to Taylor last time up. And Taijuan Walker with 3 walks, and one of those walks scored. So I think when you're pitching in this ballpark, you're better off throwing as many strikes as you possibly can.
And that was an 11-pitch plate appearance for Taylor, who drew the walk you were talking about. One and one. Taylor looking down to Rich Donnelly at third base, coaching as usual. Struck to center. Jones on the gallop, and he is there to make the catch. Taylor gives it a ride, but out to center. Ackley stranded after that 4-pitch walk, and we go to the Orioles half of the 4th. The Mariners have a 4-1 lead. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Rock Wood-Fired Kitchen Pizza, Burgers, and Spirits. And by Volkswagen. Hurry in and get a deal during the Volkswagen Stop Dreaming, Start Driving event. Glad you could join us tonight at beautiful Camden Yards. Aaron Goldsmith, Mike Flowers, our entire Root Sports crew. Game 1 of 3 against the O's. Mariners are seeing a lot of the American League East lately. Of course, the Red Sox have split in 4 games to finish the homestand. There is Snyder beginning the bottom of the 4th. But then this entire trip spanning the AL East to Toronto, then Tampa Bay. Only the Yankees, the team left out. The 2-0. And Walker battles back to even the count up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just over 50 pitches as we start the bottom of the 4th.
He's done a good job getting his pitch count back in decent shape after throwing 28 pitches in the first.
And that was a lengthy top of the first. He had the leadoff walk, then a strikeout to Paredes. Then Jones was robbed of the home run, but then had to face 3 more batters after that. Still 3-2. Really, Walker's ERA, as J.J. Hardy getting ready to swing, he's still been ballooned by a couple of rough outings. His debut this season against the A's we talked about, and then that rough outing against a buzzsaw in the Houston Astros. Ball 4. Leadoff walk to Snyder. That brings in Hardy as we take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. We were just talking about the road trip north of the border after these 3 games, and then to the Trop, and then a nice long homestand after that. Strike 1 to Hardy. So 3 walks, 3 strikeouts so far tonight for Walker. And what's interesting to me, Mike, we talked about this earlier, but you could more understand Walker with 3 walks if he was throwing 94, 95, 96 when he's been a little more wild. But with the velocity being down tonight, there's just been a couple of pieces of the puzzle that haven't quite added up tonight for Walker, although he's only given up the 1 run.
Right, but you have to look at the walks, and for him, I go back and I look at it, and sometimes, Aaron, these guys are going to get their 30 to 32 starts, and they're not always going to have their best stuff. And sometimes, if he's aware of the fact that he doesn't have a good fastball, he may be actually using more effort to throw his fastballs. We'll take a look at Cruz, see if he can get to this one.
Long way to go. Fair ball. Hardy places it perfectly, like a chip shot. And with that, Snyder down to second.
Well, Nelson was playing all the way out in right center field, ball dropping right by the line. But sometimes I think to get to 92, he has to use more effort, and then maybe he won't be as sharp as you see this hit the grass. So again, it will be interesting to listen to his comments after the game on how he felt, and if he even realizes where his velocity is at. If he does, and I would venture to say that right now he's aware of it, because they flash the speeds up in the stadiums here.
Sure.
And he'll certainly know where that's at, but maybe he's having to use more effort to get there because his arm's a little dead, or it just doesn't feel real good.
Tying run at the plate. Diaza to center field, drops it in there. Snyder held at third, and the bags are packed.
We talked about it with the Orioles at the start of the game. Coming into the game, hitting .291 with runners in scoring position. They're already 2 for 3 in this one. And we'll take a look at the last swing by Diaza. I'm not sure if this was a fastball or a changeup. 88 miles an hour middle away. And for Walker, the next pitch will be 60. So after 28 pitches in the first and working hard to get his pitch count in good shape, still nobody out here in the fourth.
Has to walk the tightrope here facing Joseph. Strike one. Big swing and strike two.
And that's the best fastball we've seen from him at 94. He's able to get it in on his hands. That's the other thing too, Aaron. And maybe it's because of where he's at, but we haven't seen a pitch inside as much as we have in his last couple of outings.
Base is full, nobody out. Go ahead run at the plate. Hard hit line drive into left field. Snyder scores. Hardy is held up as Smith gets to it quickly. Caleb Joseph brings the Orioles a run closer.
We'll take a look at it. You can see Zunino wanted that fastball elevated. He's not happy about it. He wanted that pitch up out of the strike zone, and it ends up about belt high. So missing his location ended up costing him. Rick Waite's the pitching coach out to the mound having a conversation with Taijuan.
And this is something when we've seen Felix not have his best stuff, which even it happens from time to time to the King, as we take another look at it. That is at times when he is most fun to watch because you see how he adjusts without his best stuff. We talk about the velocity being down for Taijuan tonight as Farquhar starts to stir. And so this is a test for any pitcher, how they can work out of it.
No, you're right. And it's about limiting damage. And so we're going to see how the young man does right here. Started off with a 4-1 lead going into this inning, walking the leadoff hitter. And there's been 3 straight singles.
The 1-0 to Machado. Weak little tapper. Here comes Walker. The scoop to Zunino for one down at first base and a double play.
That will help.
That's some perfect timing.
His best fastball, 95 miles an hour, right on the corner. Machado hits it off the end of the bat. Little number out front of home plate, and Taijuan, a good athlete, makes that play look really easy, and a strong throw by Zunino. So well done for Taijuan.
Now that is big. 1 pitch, 2 outs, and 2 much needed outs. First pitch swinging Paredes. So Diaz advances into third, Joseph to second. The 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now Taijuan not quite out of the weeds here, but he's close. Ball and 2 strikes now. Paredes the hottest hitter for the Orioles so far this year as Farquhar still getting ready. The 1-2. That's a pitch up and in. 95 that time.
Yeah, one of his better fastballs. He's hit 95 a couple of times here in this inning, and that time you can see Zunino again raising his glove. He wants that pitch up out of the zone to see if he can get him to chase, and Taijuan made sure that he was able to get it there this time.
Seager can't get to it. Piazza scores right behind him. Here comes Joseph. We're all tied at 4.
This is on the changeup, 89 miles an hour. That changeup well off the plate away. Paredes has really been swinging the bat well. You have to give him credit, picking up that base hit.
And it comes with 2 strikes against him, so that extends his on-base streak now to 20 games. Right back where we started. Here is Jones. Jones robbed of the home run in the first inning by Smith, and a strikeout swing into the third. Hard hit skipper Taylor off his glove. Jones a single, Paredes to second. Now this has been death by 1,000 paper cuts. In this 4th inning, a walk, and now 5 singles.
That's going to be it. Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout made the call to the bullpen right away for Danny Farquhar. That's going to be it for Taijuan Walker.
So with 2 outs, we step aside near the bottom of the 4th. Taylor just could not quite hold on. A steamer up the middle. We're back in a moment, all tied at 4. All tied up. Now, one hop your way home. Take Link Light Rail to the airport for just $3. Schedules available at soundtransit.org. Now, Taijuan Walker, after a lengthy first, really looked like he bounced back to second and third innings, but then Mike here in the 4th. A lot of singles. The leadoff walk didn't help either.
No, the leadoff walk is the one I'm sure that Rick Waits will talk to the young man about. But 3 2/3, 7 hits, 4 runs. They were all earned. He's responsible for the 2 base runners that are still out there. 4 walks. He had 3 strikeouts, 71 pitches for Taijuan.
And he gives way to Danny Farquhar. Facing the left-handed hitting Chris Davis. Just gets a piece of the first pitch.
For Danny, a good fastball. He'll be in the mid to low 90s. Mix in his cutter, 12-6 curveball, and a changeup. This is his 18th appearance on the year. In 19 innings, he has 17 strikeouts. Opponent's hitting .284 against Danny.
And that changeup's a good pitch to a lefty like Davis. Takes a big rip at it. It looked like that might have been the change.
It was, after the cutter in on his hands to speed him up. Well out in front of the changeup.
Now Farquhar trying to send this one to the fifth. He inherits two runners. The go-ahead run at second. That's Paredes. Jones at first. Davis not hitting for a high average this year, but you can see some power numbers there. 1-2. Farquhar looking for one more strike. The 1-2. Strike three. Caught. He gets him. The fastball. And that gets the Mariners out of the fourth inning. Damage done, though. 3 runs in the fourth for the Orioles. And Danny Farquhar on to clean it up a little bit. We go to the fifth. Mariners and the Orioles all tied up. And all even at 4 as the Orioles bring 8 to the plate in the bottom of the fourth inning. 5 singles and 3 runs later. We're right back where we started as we start things off in the top of the fifth inning. That's where Seth Smith will lead off. Right-handed Gonzalez, the first pitch, and it misses low. Smith, the home run to begin the game tonight, as he just got it over the wall, the high wall in the right field. Mariners coming off that fine homestand, the sweep against the A's, then a split against the Padres and then the Red Sox, and starting pitching was such a strength for the Mariners on that homestand. Smith ahead 3-0. 6 quality starts in those 9 games for the Mariners. Miller waiting his turn on deck. Strike one. Pop up left side. Machado. Out number 1. They'll bring on the boom on Saturday, May 30th. It's Nelson Cruz Bat Night as the Mariners meet the Indians. All kids receive a Little League-sized Nelson Cruz baseball bat. For tickets to Nelson Cruz Bat Night, visit Mariners.com. And remember, as we told you earlier, the night before that, on the 29th, it'll be a fireworks night at Safeco Field. So we hope to see you there both nights as the fighting Franconas come to town. One out, base is clean for Miller. Jumps on the first pitch. High pop up, tough play. Machado, Snyder, and it is Hardy make it. Now 3 Gold Gloves.
Take a look at Hardy. I think this would have been a fair ball. It would have been a fair ball. Travis Snyder, with both hitters, was out in left center field, so he's getting his sprints in, but he hasn't been able to make a catch yet. Machado, now Hardy.
So 2 up, 2 down, some high pop-ups, and that brings in Cano. 1 for 2, a run scored tonight. Infield plays him straight up. That single back of the 3rd inning for Cano snapped a minor 0 for 11 skid. Soft pop up, no man's land again. This time it's a much easier play, and Snyder gets a turn at it. A 1-2-3, top of the 5th. Gorgeous night here in Baltimore. We go to the bottom of the 5th, all tied at 4. And the Orioles all tied up. Hope you can stick around after the game for Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines. Glad to have you with us. A gorgeous night here from Baltimore, Maryland, as Farquhar comes home with the first pitch to Pierce, who fouls away for strike 1. Now Danny trying to eat some innings here after Taijuan Walker could not escape the 4th. He goes 3 2/3. The longest that Danny has pitched so far this year, 2 innings. He's done that 3 times. In fact, he did it not that long ago. His last outing back on the 16th. High pop up right field. Cruz tiptoes over to find it for out number 1. And that brings in Travis Snyder. And this one has been a story of back and forth. The Mariners struck first. In fact, 4 pitches into the ball game. Seth Smith went deep just over the fence and right. And then in the bottom of the 1st, the Orioles tied it up. Pierce with the RBI single to left, but then Cruz a 3-run homer, and then the Orioles in their half of the 4th, 3 runs of their own.
And I think that you're right, Aaron. I think you'd really like to see Danny be efficient and eat up some innings. When you look at the Mariners and their schedule right now, There aren't any breaks in there. So they're not going to be able to afford to have a couple of their starters end up with short outings if they want to be able to continue to mix and match their bullpen when they get late in games. So they need a couple of guys probably to pick the club up today.
Routine pop-up as Taylor patrols into shallow left for out number 2. Now, along those lines, you would think that after a long 3-city 9-game East Coast road trip, you might get a breather, a day off coming back home. That's not the case, Mike.
That is not the case. Guys will fly across country and still have to play the next day. It's something that they're used to, though.
First pitch to Hardy up high. Overall, the schedule much better this year. One thing we've noticed, fewer trips but longer trips.
Yes,
a lot of 3-city trips. While you're out, stay out.
Right. We're on the East Coast, so we're going to hit 3 cities while we're out here, and I think the guys all would much rather do that.
No question. Cano makes it look easy. 3 up, 3 down. And Farquhar has retired the first 4 men that he's seen in back of Taijuan Walker. We are through 5 innings. Mariners and the Orioles tied at 4. Top of the 6th as that takes us to our Columbia Bank difference of the game. It was one swing from the Mariners right fielder off of Miguel Gonzalez, left center field, and a 3-run shot by Nelson Cruz. And for Nelson, his 16th on the season pacing everybody in the game.
I thought it was great just watching him. It was almost a double clutch on the curveball. 76 miles an hour, I believe it was. That's just really good hitting, and you can give you an idea how strong he is. He's already made his stride and started his weight transfer, but still strong enough to hit that ball into the bullpen.
That was really impressive. You could see that hitch, that pause. Shift on for Cruz. 0-2. Pitches, all strikes. Cruz down swinging, and that's how Gonzalez opens up the top of the 6th.
A couple of fastballs on the outside corner, and we'll take a look at this last pitch. It looked like the split. Oh, no, it's 2-seam fastball.
It's now 6 strikeouts for Gonzalez, facing Kyle Seager. Boy, did Buck Showalter have some high praise worth prompting this. Some high praise that no one led him down the path of Kyle Seager. He brought this up on his own today when talking to the media. He said of Kyle Seager, he is as good of a third baseman as you will find in baseball. This is coming from a manager that only gets to see him for 2 series a year.
And has a pretty good third baseman himself.
Yeah, that's a very good point. A Gold Glover in Machado. And when the follow-up question was asked, Buck, what do you like about Kyle Seager? 2 minutes later, he got done explaining all the things that he liked about Kyle Seager. And he rattled off one thing after another. Likes how he hits late in games. He likes how he hits lefties. Loves how he plays the position defensively. Opposite way, and it dunks in there for a base hit. Speaking of hitting with 2 strikes.
Yes, Kyle is no longer a secret in this league. I think it's safe to say. We'll take a look at this swing by Kyle going the other way. Gets a fastball. Another 2-seamer running away from him, and he just dumps it into left field for a base hit.
He's a pro. One out, one on for Lomo. So the go-ahead run at first base. Seager, by the way, now a 5-game hitting streak. Center field with some carry as Jones has plenty of room. Round number 2. Well, fans, this season for every Mariners hit, Fred Hutch will receive a donation from Mariners Care. It's called Hits for the Hutch, and it's the Mariners' way of supporting the life-saving research taking place at Seattle's own Fred Hutchinson Center Research Center. Cancer Research Center, pardon me. Nice cause there. So 2 outs, Seager at first base, and that brings in Mike Zunino, looking for his first hit tonight. Long pause. It'll move to first. All 4 Mariners runs in this one tonight coming on 2 swings, a pair of homers. Smith to begin the ball game, and then Cruz, the 3-run blast in the 3rd. Number 16 this season for Cruz. Leading baseball entering tonight, Bryce Harper has been on his heels. Harper has homered this evening, so Cruz still 1 home run in front of Harper, who is putting together an incredible first half of the season for the Nationals. The 1-1 makes it 1-2. Gonzalez 2 walks, 6 strikeouts so far tonight. Has not had huge strikeout numbers this season. High pop-up. Pierce. And that'll do it. Seager stranded at first base after the single to left. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Mariners and the Orioles even at 4. inside Camden Yards as Alejandro Diaz leads things off for the Orioles. He's 2 for 2 and singled twice. Danny Farquhar beginning his second full inning of relief, taking over for Taijuan Walker, who went 3 2/3. Opposite way, and a fair ball. Diaz digging for second. He stands up there, leadoff double. That just squeaked in.
For Diaz, he gets an off-speed pitch, and it's well located from Danny. It's on the outside corner and down. He breaks his bat, hitting it off the end as he flares it down the line, and just fair.
Go-ahead run at second base. That brings in the catcher, Caleb Joseph. RBI single his last time up.
Kyle Seager even with the bag at third in case he bunts. Well, let the ball the other way, and that's going to be trouble.
Tough play, slicer. Cruz can't get there. Diaz comes all the way from second to score. Back-to-back doubles. And they've both been tough to play. The Orioles have taken a 5-4 lead.
Amazing in this game, Aaron, how when you're trying to do the right thing and help your team win, you usually get paid off. And Joseph just trying to hit the ball the other way to move the runner up. Gets a cutter, and he picks up a double and an RBI. So far, the Orioles tonight, they are 5 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
Machado pops a bunt, and Danny Farquhar will field himself. Now you'll win a lot of ball games if you go 5 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Machado out number 1.
I was going to say that will help their season average. 2 runners in scoring position coming into the game. 291.
Already good.
We haven't seen too many teams with a number like that with runners in scoring position.
1 out, 1 on for Paredes. The Cardinals a couple of years ago when they went to the World Series and lost to the Red Sox, they were in the low 300s, and it was staggering. So anywhere close to that, close to 300, that is always impressive. 2-0 to the Orioles DH. Orioles have taken the lead here in the 6th. This one has been a seesaw tonight. Joseph at second base. Big loopy swing there. 2-1. Well, just not many opportunities for the Mariners, and really you see that home run from Cruz. You have runners at first and second, but the Mariners just have not been on the bases much tonight.
And they have offensively gone in spurts like that. Previous game before the off day on Sunday, they were 1 for 6. And before that, 0 for 1, 1 for 2.
Runners in scoring position.
Runners in scoring position. That makes it difficult.
Shot the opposite way. Smith slips up, and it's gone. Suddenly 7-4 Orioles. A 3 spot here in the 6th.
Jimmy Paredes is having a night. It's a 2-run homer. Right now it's 4 RBIs in the game. Pitch off the plate away. Elevated. We talked about it in this ballpark. For lefties going the other way, there's not a tough chore if you can barrel it up, and that's exactly what Paredes ended up doing.
That's a career high 4 runs batted in for Paredes. As Adam Jones climbs in 0-1. That's 4 of the Orioles' 7 runs tonight. Jones behind 0-2. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Up and in. Mark Lowe beginning to warm up. Now Jones leading the Orioles in so many offensive categories this year. Thanks in large part to that huge month of April that he had. He hit about 400. In fact, he hit 400 on the nose, hitting around the 250 mark here, though, in the second month of the season. See what he does here against breaking balls, where he ranks among the American League's best.
Well, Danny has shown him everything. Continues to foul pitches off.
The 1-2. Peeled out of first base. It does not go.
Danny tried to get him with a curveball in the dirt. Take a look, see if he did check his swing.
Hammered high center field. Ackley is there. Got a lot of height, but not nearly enough carry. Out number 2. Now, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. 2 out spaces clean for Chris Davis, who has walked twice and struck out looking. In fact, it was Farquhar who got him on a fastball. Slicing to left field. Smith, the slide, and the catch. Nice play there by Seth Smith. He's had a couple of beauties in left field so far tonight. That wraps up 6 innings. We're off to the 7th as the Orioles have taken the lead. On Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. By Jack in the Box, Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Now, Cal Ripken Jr., the Hall of Famer, and he loved hitting against the Mariners. Has the highest average of any hitter against the Mariners in franchise history, and he loved the Kingdom.
Had more batting stances than any hitter, too.
Throw that in the mix. Ackley leading things off 2-0. And you can see his retired number. In the Kingdom, Cal hit .338. Two balls and a strike. In fact, that was his highest average of any ballpark he ever played in. With at least a handful of games, that is. Check swing, and it goes around. Full count. Mariners needed some base runners as we start the top of the 7th. Strike 3 call. That won't help. Out number 1. Let's check in with Angie at the Ford Sports Desk. Ange.
Shortstop, number 1.
All right, Ange, thank you. So 1 up, 1 down. Here is Taylor. Takes a healthy hack and bounce off the first pitch for strike 1. Now Gonzalez this season, his season best strikeout performance 10. That came in mid-April against the Yankees right here at Camden Yards. He's had his fair share of strikeouts so far tonight. Taylor off his foot. He's behind 0-2. As Lowe still warming up in the bullpen.
Now he will take over in the 7th inning. I think Danny's night is done. He's at 30 pitches, so that's probably enough for Danny.
Farquhar took over for Taijuan Walker, who went 3 2/3.
Meantime, Gonzalez now at 92 pitches. Trying to get some action out in the pen for the Orioles. This is a quality right-hander. Again, 4-2 record with an ERA under 3.
That's Brian Mattis warming up. The 0-2 off the plate. Gonzalez with 7 strikeouts so far tonight. Second highest total of this still pretty early season. And make it 8. So 2 up, 2 down. And since that home run by Nelson Cruz with 2 outs in the 3rd, the only base runners have been Ackley on the walk on 4 pitches, and then Seager the single to left. That's been it as far as traffic on the base paths.
Well, Gonzalez tonight has really done a good job using his fastball, pitching on the edges of the plate. We're starting to see a split in his slider a little bit more now, so he's really mixing it up on the guys. But you can see 94 pitches, 65 strikes for him.
Wow.
I said that this was a foul ball that the catcher was able to hang on to. That goes off of his hand. Called it a foul ball. But I think for Gonzalez, when I've seen him pitch well, this is pretty much what you're going to get from him. And you were talking about it earlier, and he's not a dominant, overpowering right-hander, but move the ball around, sink it when you need to. He's had a good 2-seamer tonight. And now all of a sudden he's mixing up as he's working his way through the lineup again. More breaking balls, and we're starting to see the split. That makes it tough on the hitters.
Smith behind in the count. And the 0-2 way up and in. Smith homered to lead off the ball game. Since then, a strikeout and a pop-up. Little tapper. Gonzalez. And a 1-2-3, top of the 7th. And Gonzalez has gotten awfully stingy since that Cruz 3-run homer. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Time to stretch. Orioles have the lead. Well, as we go to the bottom of the 7th, how about stretching your mind as you consider how Washington's lottery win would change your bucket list? Play today. Outside of Camden Yards, of course, a large naval influence here around the ballpark and around the team hotel as well. Coast Guard, the Navy. And some shipmen here enjoying the game tonight. There's some Mariners fans, too. In fact, looked like, Mike, we saw them chatting it up with the American League Player of the Week before the game.
They were down on the field during batting practice. We had a chance to talk to Brad. Mark Lowe will take over. This will be his 6th appearance on a year, 2.70 ERA. 4 strikeouts and 3 1/3. Opponents hitting .231 against Mark. Good fastball. He will be in the mid-90s with his fastball and a hard slider.
First pitch, left field. Drops in front of Smith. Leadoff man reaches against Lowe. In steps Travis Snyder. Walked and scored back in the 4th. Now for the Orioles, they've had some crooked numbers tonight. 3 runs in the 4th, another 3 runs in the 6th. And they've had some production from the bottom part of their order too. Men getting on base. Snyder behind 0-2. It was Walker followed by Farquhar and now Mark Lowe. His first inning of work. Inside. So Farquhar, who goes 2 1/3 innings, that's a season high. Although Danny stung a little bit, 3 runs, 3 hits. A home run to Paredes. Glove to right field. And a base hit. Pierce trying to go first to third as Cruz loses it, and this is trouble. Pierce all the way around to score. Snyder into third base. 8-4 Orioles.
Well, we've talked about Nelson Cruz and all the good things that he's done, which has included playing right field, and I think he's going to look up on this ball. It's an easy one hopper to him. I think he was looking at to see if he was going to have a throw to third, and he goes under. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. The ball went under his glove, and then it was off to the races. The Mariners will have to bring their infield in. Snyder ends up at third with nobody out.
And brings in Hardy. First pitch a strike to Hardy. David Lowe pinch running at third. Oh, 2. Now the Mariners running out of outs. Once we get to the top of the 8th, it'll be Miller, Cano, and Cruz, but still nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. 0-2. For Hardy, this is only his 11th game this season. Missed the first 25 games of the year because of a shoulder injury suffered during spring training down in Sarasota. Only had a couple of rehab games in the minors. Going chasing after it low at 95 on the gun. It's Hardy for out number 1.
Just a good elevated fastball. Late swing from Hardy. Piazza having a night. He's 3 for 3 tonight and has scored a couple of runs. He's been aggressive too early in the count.
Infield still in. Off the plate for ball 1. Piazza many years with the White Sox. 2-0. Wade's looking on. Going through a bucket of bubble gum tonight.
And they're going to just put Piazza on. Number 9 hitter, right-handed hitter Joseph Duwop. Try to get a double play ball and get out of the inning.
That'll be the last one needed. So Piazza down to first base, intentionally walked. Oh, did you know that there's a playground located inside Safeco Field? The Seattle Children's Play Field is located in center field and offers our youngest Mariners fans their own playground inside the ballpark. So next time you're at Safeco Field, go on and check out Seattle's Children's Play Field. Low pinch running at third. Piazza intentionally passed at first base. That brings in Caleb Joseph.
After the intentional walk, Mariners will move their infield back for the double play.
Strike 1. Of course, Lowe has not pitched in many games this year. This is just his 6th appearance for the Mariners after the start of the year with the Rainiers. Does not have a ground ball double play on his line so far this season. A good time here for his first. Swing and a miss.
2 good sliders from Mark. Both of them on the outside corner. He tries to waste a fastball up or maybe throw the slider off the plate away. Weak swing by Joseph on the last slider.
Low at third base. Diaz at first.
It was the high fastball.
Brian Matusz still warming up at the bullpen for the Orioles. Looks like we will see him when we go to the top of the 8th. Seager to second, on to first. Just what Mark Lowe needed. How about that? First ground ball double play Lowe has spun this season, and it could not have come at much more of a perfect time. We go to the top of the 8th as Seager gets things started. Mariners have some catching up to do, down by 4. An absolute torrential downpour on the off day in Baltimore last night. The skies have certainly cleared out today. A beautiful evening here from Camden Yards. We take a look, Mike, at the numbers. An awfully strong start for Miguel Gonzalez.
Yeah, you're right. 7 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. They were earned thanks to the 3-run homer by Nelson Cruz. A couple of walks. He had 8 strikeouts through 98 pitches in this one. And he pitched ahead in the entire game as Brian Matusz will take over. 2.92 ERA for the left-hander. Opponents hitting just 195 against him. For Gonzalez, 28 batters. He had 17 0-2 or 1-2 counts. David Lowe will stay in the game, play left field for Snyder.
Say that again, the last part, 17?
28 batters, 17 0-2, 1-2 counts. That is tough to hit when you're in those counts.
Strike 1 to Miller. Matusz now in his 7th season of the big leagues, all with the Orioles. A converted starter now into the bullpen. His last starts came back in 2012. He's been working exclusively as a reliever since then. Miller a pop up to right field. Diaz has got time to coast over and make the catch. Out number 1. Oh, how about we take a look at our Delta Airlines keep climbing standings. Well, the Astros still on top at first place. The Angels, who won here on Sunday against the Orioles. Even Steven at 19-19. It's funny, Mike, you look at the division, only one team above 500.
Yeah. Well, the Angels leading the Blue Jays right now 3-2 as they're in the top of the 8th inning. We'll bring up Cano. Cano tonight 1 for 3 with a run scored. Got a base hit into left field. He came back in the 3rd inning.
Held off the first pitch. And part of me said that the Angels won here on Sunday. They lost. It was the Orioles who won, who to avoid the sweep. It's so funny how the schedule's been made this year for all teams in the division. We went through that long length of time for, it seemed like, about 3 weeks. Glove to right field, drops in for a base hit. Cano 2 for 4. And I told you his numbers here at this ballpark. 361 lifetime at Camden Yards. He's 2 for 4 tonight. But in the division, every team of the West playing each other for the better part of 3 weeks, and now it's off to face other divisions.
And this is a good sign. Gets a fastball in the middle of the plate, squares it up, solid line drive into right.
One out base runner brings in Cruz. 3-run homer in the third. 2 for 3 tonight overall. Now, to tell you how much Nelson Cruz is still loved here in Baltimore and how much he still feels connected to some of his former teammates, yesterday Manny Machado had a bowling event for charity, and a lot of his current teammates like Adam Jones were all there, but Nelson Cruz spent his off day attending that charity bowling event. Nelson just 1 year here with the Orioles. And really for Cruz, and he talked about this in an article that was in the Baltimore Sun today, that really it came down to that 4th year. The Orioles did not want to give him year number 4 in the contract. Jack Sorensic was willing to, and now the Mariners are reaping the dividends of it. Just missing. 2-2. Activity in the bullpen. It's O'Day, the side armor. Has been such a steady part of that Orioles bullpen in recent years. Mariners looking for some base runners. 2 outs, make it 1 out, top of the 8th. Now the count pushes full to Cruz. Seager on deck. High and outside, and Cruz reaches base now for the 3rd time. Single, the homer, and now the walk.
Then maybe Mattis watched an awful lot of Nelson Cruz last year. He didn't want to get the ball anywhere close to home plate on that 3-2 pitch.
Had a front row view.
Kyle 1 for 3.
So Cano down to second. Strike 1. Mattis was taken very high by the Orioles back in 2008. In fact, he was taken 4th overall that year, a pick behind Eric Hosmer and a pick before Buster Posey. He was taken 5th overall by the Giants. Seager up the middle. Pierce steps on the bag. Wide throw to first base. Cano stays put. And Seager ruled safe.
Well, I'm just glad that he's okay.
Yeah.
Buck Showalter is going to come out and said he made an attempt towards second. Davis went back and tagged Kyle when he was laying on the ground. John Hirschbeck, veteran umpire, made the call right away, saying that Kyle was okay, fine. Take a look at the replay. It's past the pitcher. Pierce, poor throw. No, I think Kyle's fine. He didn't make an attempt. No.
And Showalter will head back to the dugout. You're right there by the way that Seager took to a knee, Mike. He wondered if something might be up, and you can see how he slips off the back of the bag.
Yeah, he was watching the play. Normally the base runner will hit the front of the base, but I think Kyle had his head up and he was trying to see if the ball was going to get past Davis. ended up hitting the back of the bag, and when he slipped, fell awkwardly. Unfortunately, he looks like he's okay.
So a fielder's choice. Cruz out at second. Cano survives. He's at third. And brings in Lobo, looking for his first hit tonight. Slicing left center. Adam Jones gives way to Lowe. Off the bench to replace Snyder. And that'll do it for the Mariners. They strand runners on the corners. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Orioles leading by 4. At our T-Mobile game changer, and tonight a career night for Jimmy Paredes. 4 RBIs and 2 might came on this big swing.
Well, you take a look at it. We were talking about left field here in this ballpark. Just 364 in the gap. Danny can't believe it. It's a solid line drive, but that's a 2-run homer for Paredes. He now has 6 on the year.
And that's part of a 3-run 6th inning by the Orioles. They tacked on another run in the 7th as they lead 8-4. Bottom of the 8th, just about to get underway, is Lowe back up on the mound. Machado hitless tonight, a walk and a run scored back in the first.
Joe Weimel getting loose in the Mariner pen.
Big cut to make it 1-2. There you can see Weimel. Through ball right side, and Cano just can't quite hold on to it. Looked like he'd be able to stab that one low, but instead Machado at first base gets ahead. Well, Jack Sorensic making a move today, Mike, as Yoeris Medina is now a Chicago Cub, and veteran backstop Wellington Castillo coming over from Chicago, a team that, well, they had a bevy of catchers in the big leagues.
Looking for some more help. Castillo will probably be here tomorrow. As you mentioned, Medina, hard to believe, such a big part of the bullpen last few years, and now he's off to Chicago.
The word is that he will report to AAA Iowa in the Cubs system. Here's Paredes. Of course, the Cubs traded for Miguel Montero in the offseason, their starting catcher. And then they have Cody Ross, who came over essentially with John Lester. He has kind of been Lester's personal catcher 0-2. So not in need of 3 catchers. Castillo now a Mariner. Machado at first base. And the 0-2 from Lowe. Check swing, and he does not go. And hopefully, Mike, with the move, getting a veteran backstop, this will mean a little easier to give Mike Zunino a day off here and there.
Well, I think that's the reason why the deal was done. Mike got an awful lot last year, and Lloyd McClendon addressed that in spring training, especially early in the season. And he felt that more rest for Mike would help him, especially in the second half of the season. So I think that's the biggest reason why the move was made.
And some more depth, some insurance if needed, as Lloyd looks on. A little inside. It's incredible when you take a look at how good the Mariners bullpen has been, dating back to the start of last season, and the quality arms that the Mariners have been able to trade away to get other pieces of greater need. Of course, we know that Brandon Maurer was traded to get Seth Smith, who had the leadoff home run tonight. Carter Capps for Logan Morrison. Medina now. Pryor as well to the Twins.
Right. You have the emergence of Carson Smith.
Yeah.
Mark Lowe is back healthy finally. His fastball 95, 96 miles an hour. And I would guarantee you, when Jack is making phone calls, a lot of clubs are looking right at the Mariner bullpen when he makes a phone call. And it's for that reason, the depth that they have.
That's amazing. The only team in the American League that maybe says, you know what, we're okay, is Kansas City. His bullpen has just been on another planet dating back to last year, and it's picked up right where it left off. But maybe other than the Royals, if you look just in the American League, it's incredible that a team has that much depth in one part of their roster, as the Mariners have had now in recent years in the bullpen. Nobody out, one on. That's Machado. Just gets a piece. And as Lloyd said, talking about Medina, he boiled it down in pretty simple terms, which seems to be something that that's a strong point of Lloyd's, is that Medina wasn't going to be a starter and he wasn't going to be a closer. So at that point, his value becomes, well, a little less, simply put.
Well, and the Mariners also, they still have Dominic Leone down there.
Right. And we saw spurts from Medina where, my goodness, he was just filthy.
Yes.
That slider of his, at some points last season, was the dirtiest pitch in the bullpen. Of course, a former starter in the minors, and like any relatively young pitcher, you have to ride the wave a little bit sometimes. Well, this at-bat will not end.
It is a battle. 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up, and Mark has made some really good pitches. I was cruising around today talking to people about this Baltimore club. Paredes' name came up in almost every conversation.
Big swing and a miss. Thrown out to second. Tag applied. Machado safe. The second steal tonight. Now, there's no doubt, even though Paredes just struck out, he has to be the biggest surprise for the Orioles this year as we take a look at that steal.
And that's one that Mike probably feels that he should have been able to get. You can see how high the throw is, giving Machado the opportunity to slide in.
And that brings in Adam Jones. Strike one.
See what Adam has done in the strike zone this year. An awful lot of red.
Above the big league average.
Not too many places to pitch him.
It's amazing. You look at his career, he has never been a 300 hitter in one season.
That is surprising.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
He finished 2012 batting .287. That's as close as he's come. And he's behind 0-2. One out, Machado at second base. Lowe looking for his third strikeout. Way outside and low. And with that, Machado can trot freely into third base. That one got away.
No chance for Zunino. 94 miles an hour, well off the plate away. And the Mariners will have to bring their infield in once again.
That changes things here. There's only one out. Healthy fly ball or a firm grounder. We saw Lowe on the homestand hit 97 or maybe even 90. I think it was 97 on the gun. And
yeah.
When asked about it the next day, he said, you know, I really try not to look at the radar gun in the ballpark. He said, I like to think that I've got that in the arm. But it was a little surprising to see him be able to dial it up that much and throw it for a strike as well. 2-2.
Well, I was really happy at the end of spring training, his last two outings, to see him 95, 96. And to throw his slider as hard as he was throwing, because that told me he's healthy, he's ready to go. Unfortunately, leaving camp, there wasn't any room for him, but he's always had a good arm, great arm. And he certainly is healthy and back to full strength.
Runner at third base. Weak ground ball. Taylor scoops it up. Out number 2. Machado stays put. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. That's going to do it for Lowe. We'll step aside here at the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 outs, Machado with third. Back in a moment. On to the bottom of the 8th, and we take a look now at Joe Beimel.
Will be his 6th appearance on the year. Pitched well, 2.08 ERA. Opponent's hitting 250 off of Joe. Not overpowering, his fastball being in the mid to upper 80s. But he will mix it up. And a slider and a curveball, a changeup. See what he's done in his 13th season for his career. 637 innings pitched, 674 hits for him.
So Lloyd calls on the lefty to face left-handed hitting Chris Davis. Davis 2 walks.
Mariners will have the shift on with Davis hitting.
Away from Zunino, Machado on the run home, slide, he's safe. 9-4 Orioles.
Strange game, strange run. Machado gets a base hit that goes off the glove of Cano, steals second, gets to third on a wild pitch, and now he will score on a pass ball.
Doing nothing to Davis. High pop up center field. Ackley waits a while, and that'll do it. So a run scores on a rare, very rare pass ball for Mike Zunino. We go to the 9th inning, 9-4 Orioles. All right, Angie, thank you. Bottom third of the order due up, and it starts with Mike Zunino. Mariners down to their final 3 outs in this one. It's Darren O'Day replacing Brian Mattis. O'Day has been such a fine setup man, the submariner for Buck Showalter. You can see what he's done on the year.
Been around for a long time. I can remember him being all the way back with the Rangers. Submariner, throw strikes, keep the ball on the ground. Fine ERA, 1.29 ERA for him, his 16th appearance on the year.
Now this is one Florida Gator facing another. O'Day went to high school in Jacksonville, Florida, went on to play at the University of Florida. Of course, Zunino a standout for the Gators during his time in college. incredible thing about O'Day and his time in Gainesville, he went to college on an academic scholarship and could not make the baseball team. He was cut from the baseball team, and then essentially during a summer beer league decided to start horsing around with the funky mechanics that he has now. Was allowed to try out again for the Gators baseball team and became their closer. Then ended up signing as a free agent as a fifth-year senior. Put off plans to be either a surgeon or work in other fields of medicine. Veterinarian was another idea that he had, and now he's carved out a very successful big league career. Buck Showalter was talking about Dan Jennings today and being hired as the new manager, and as Buck said about managers, listen, there's no one way to get this job, and as O'Day has proven, there's no one way exactly to get to the big leagues, although his path probably took more turns and twists than most. Full count.
Well, I think on the flip side of that, Danny Farquhar, they tried to change him a number of times, and then he finally went back to his old way of pitching, and here he is.
You're absolutely right. Danny was with a number of organizations, the Blue Jays, the A's as well. And at one point he was close to a submariner. He was sidearming. Jones coming in a hurry, and he makes the catch. And Jones talkative about something. We'll bring in Ackley. Two outs left for the Mariners tonight. Game one of the road trip, first of three here against the Orioles. Ackley 1 for 2 with a walk. Watch out. Ackley clipped. So Dustin reaches for the second time without a hit tonight.
They actually hit him with a changeup, 81 miles an hour. Just held on to it too long. Dustin looks like he's fine.
One out base runner. That brings in Chris Taylor. Well, tomorrow night we'll have a chance to see Roenis Elias up on the mound for the Mariners. He'll be opposed by fellow lefty Wei-Yin Chen. Elias has looked good so far this year. Make his 5th start of the season. Taking this one in next to the King. Those two seem to pal around a little bit, Mike. It's a pretty good company to keep.
Not a bad idea for Elias. You have the best in the business on your club and 10-year veteran. Why not?
Strike on the inside corner. So Wei-Yin Chen going tomorrow. He's off to a fine start, as you can see there. Elias making start number 5 tomorrow night. And back home in the Northwest, that'll be a 4:05 first pitch. Taylor down on strikes. 1 out left for the Mariners. And that brings in Seth Smith.
Elevated fastball from O'Day. Typically tries to pitch down in the zone. You can see a little difficult for a right-handed hitter with that arm angle of O'Day.
First pitch strike as Ackley takes second base on a difference. O'Day says that even when he plays catch, as long as it's not from a short distance, even then he throws from the side like that. Pretty ingrained at this point. Left-handed hitter like Smith, a little bit of an advantage. Strike two. Mariners had an early 4-1 lead in this one tonight after the Nelson Cruz 3-run shot in the third inning. But since then, it was all Miguel Gonzalez and the Orioles offense. One way or another, the Orioles have found various ways to bring runs across home plate tonight. Miller would be next. In fact, this game began with a bang. Smith, the home run to right field, leading things off. One, two. For a team of the Orioles who hits their fair share of home runs, only 2 of their runs tonight coming on the line ball. 5 singles in that 3-run fourth for Baltimore. Fights it off the hands. A rainbow shallow left. Machado to end the night. Now, Mike, you talked earlier, Taijuan Walker's velocity was down, but it seemed like for a while there, the second and third, he was pitching well with the stuff that he had, but things then fell apart.
Well, they did, and I think for Taijuan, and I'm sure Rick Waits, Lloyd McClellan, the thing that they're going to look at with him and try to figure out is the numbers of Taijuan when runners are not on base. They're hitting just .228 against it, but it goes all the way up to .416 with runners on base, Aaron. And there's something in there. I don't know if it's between the ears or mechanical that he's doing differently that's costing him. But as you mentioned, all those base hits starting to fall in on him. The Orioles tonight, 13 bases to get their 9 runs. Mariners scoring 4 runs. Again, on 2 homers, a solo home run by Smith and then the 3-run home run by Cruz. Really didn't do much else after that.
Yeah, Orioles win this one tonight. Final score of 9-4 in Game 1 against the Orioles. Well, Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines starts right now with Angie and Jason.